Hello and welcome back to the 30th episode of the 71st Hour podcast. I am your host Seto, and I'm joined by my, I always say fabulous, so fabulous co-host
It's
Jamie.
the same
Yeah,
adjective
dude,
every
you
time,
always try to
dude.
do new words. You always try
No
to do like
changes,
new
no
ones.
changes. You
Yeah,
know,
you
just
always
the
try to do
same
new
old.
ones.
I do,
And
I do.
our also amazing technician and co-host Nathan.
What's up? How's it
So,
going?
hi boys, how's your boys' week been?
Pretty good.
Good.
Yeah, it was good. Not too bad.
Yeah, stuff's been happening. Starfield is finally out, and that's gonna be a big.
And not even technically out yet.
Yeah,
Early
true. It's just
access,
early
yeah.
access. It's just early access. That is true. But so I did want to reorganize it to get the other stuff first. I feel like that's gonna be the main topic point of all of this. So, uh, I do want to start off with the hot fixes, starting off,
Yeah,
and
still got the same fucking title. Like we're just
we haven't changed it yet. I feel like
when you
I
say
feel like,
we, you mean me. Like,
yeah,
I haven't
you
changed
true.
it yet.
Yeah,
I haven't changed it yet. I don't know. Maybe we'll
Um,
just keep it. Maybe it just stays as legacy, you know?
Hotfix? It's legacy. It's just hotfix. Yeah, like what was it called? One more thing,
It's
like
just
that.
hotfix. What does that
Yeah.
even mean?
Yeah. But yeah. So starting off, there was a new trailer for Avatar's Frontier of Pandora.
Why is this the longest outro ever? Jesus. Anyway.
Yeah,
Christ.
it's just an outro. It's just
It
one
was
really
just
long
it was just
outro.
like the end bit. Anyway. Yeah, talk about this.
It was mainly talking about the PC features that was actually getting brung to the PC version because of course it's being sponsored by AMD. Um, and there's a couple of ones that are actually pretty cool. A couple of ones that are there.
But
So,
to be fair, when I mentioned we should talk about this, honestly, it wasn't about the PC features. It was just because of how fucking goddamn good looking this game
true.
is.
What's the thing? That's what I was gonna
It
say.
doesn't
Like
look like
because
total shit.
it doesn't look like
And
I
the
was
total
problem
expecting
is
it to be
because
total
when
shit.
when they revealed it, it was the PS5 version of the game, which is running FSR 2 no matter what. Like you have to run
okay,
FSR 2
yeah.
to play the game on console.
Yep.
And so you got like the shimmering effect you get with FSR 2 and
Mm-hmm.
like it's like the console version, so like the graphics quality isn't as high. Obviously, it's probably running it like somewhere in the medium high range.
Mhm.
And so I wasn't super impressed by how it looked.
But this does
I
look a
was
little better.
very impressed with
I,
how
I
this
was
looked on PC.
yeah, so I was gonna bring that up at the very end because I was gonna start off with like so it's bringing out like ray tracing, FSR2 support, ultra wide. Jamie, for you, I know you're the ultra wide. Yeah, many core CPU. We did talk about it beforehand. The
Yeah,
one
they
that I
mentioned
found,
many core CPU
yeah,
support,
Many.
which
core.
I've just taken as they're
It's
gonna try as hard as possible to use every single core on these,
yes,
16, 32 core CPUs.
yes.
So that's good. I'm glad that they're a lot of. I feel like a lot of games when they're releasing, talking about PC features, they usually don't mention that they're gonna support, the wide range of many multi-core CPUs we
Mhm,
have now, and yeah, so that's cool. I think
mhm.
it's cool that they're pushing that as like a thing that they're doing with this game.
Yep.
We'll see how performance is. Obviously, there's also the benchmark testing as well. So.
That was the interesting one to me. I actually I was very surprised when I saw that they actually have an inbuilt PC benchmarking test, which I thought
Yeah,
was really
lots
cool.
of games have them.
Some games
Yeah.
do have
Really?
it.
Okay.
But it is a bit of a rarity, and I do feel like sometimes the benchmarking tests that games have don't fully give you a great sense of how your performance is going to be in the actual game.
Yeah, it's never.
Sometimes, but
It's not a great for the actual game, but more of just a comparative test for people who are testing hardware. And
Sure.
Yeah, totally.
And for them as well, it'd be a great test.
Mhm,
Yeah, and I think
mhm.
it's honestly the benchmarking is probably better for like maybe the mid-range PCs out there where
Yeah, exactly.
you probably can get a better sense. But
Well, in the trailer, that's what they were saying is like you'd benchmark to compare like your PC.
sure
how
to
you
get
would
the,
go to
the
other
you,
people.
to get the
Right?
balance right between
Exactly.
graphics and frame rate.
Exactly.
But the good
I
thing
haven't
is,
seen anything in this game for a long time. It's not what I thort it was. I don't
No, so
remember.
like
it seems
that's what I
like
was gonna
it
talk
is
about
Far
now.
Cry Avatar.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
you
gonna
know
say.
what?
I'm
So
getting the
I was
sense
about to
of.
say Far Cry Primal Avatar. That would actually
Yeah.
be lit.
yeah,
And that's what
like
I think that's what this game is. It's very, very like I think they've mentioned crafting and hunting and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it does seem like that is sort of what they're going for, using guns. I guess the whole setup is that you're newly an avatar, like you've
yes.
newly made that process, so you still have the human capability to use guns, and so you're like it's sort of the best of both worlds, I guess.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
And then
But yeah,
obviously you can fucking fly, which looks like this looks
It looks
really
really
good,
good.
man. Like this looks really, really good.
Yeah, I thought it was going to
Yeah.
be dog shit, but it actually doesn't look terrible.
It doesn't look terrible, no. Like, and that's what I was going to talk to you boys about. So, like, you guys think it's Far Cry? I was also thinking like maybe like Horizon. I cannot speak. Horizon New
Horizon?
Dawns. Horizon. Yeah, I was also getting a little bit of that feeling. You know what I mean? Especially with like the flying around and stuff like that.
I think the main Far Cry comparison for me is because it's Ubisoft.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
I could imagine them just kind of taking that blueprint and applying it to Avatar. It is
are you-
obviously not a Far Cry team. It's made by Ubisoft Massive, who
Mhm.
have done The Division and who are working on Star Wars
Yeah.
Outlaw, the new Star Wars game, the open
I
world Star
was
Wars game that
gonna.
Ubisoft's making.
I was gonna make the joke of, are you ready to climb a tree and then to ping out to get the rest of the map? Are you ready for that?
I wonder if there's even. I feel like Ubisoft
be
is
alright
moving
with
away
that.
from that.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
They're
in this
moving away
game.
from the towers. I think.
I don't think that's gonna happen in this game.
I do expect this to be fairly checklisty.
It will. Yeah.
I'd be very impressed if it was like a, like a Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, where it's like, hey, we give you the map, but we don't tell you anything that's on there, and you just gotta
Yeah.
kind of look around and discover.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Probably not happening
Yeah.
because a lot of, I mean, it's just easier, I think, to design games around giving the player exactly where they need to go and what to do.
Mhm.
But yeah, I was very, I mean, at the very least, this game is gonna look very, very good.
It's
like
been
that is
added to my radar after seeing this, which is
definitely, and it's actually coming out at a pretty good time. It's coming out December 7th. So like
Yeah, so
far
it's
enough
later.
away from a lot of the other big releases of the year. I do think sometimes December games typically get delayed to like early the next year. So we'll see if it actually comes out this year. But maybe Ubisoft cook with this.
Yeah, we'll wait and
knows?
see. We'll wait
Let
and
'em
see.
cook.
And a big
It's
thing
gonna
also-
be interesting.
FSR2 and DLSS support.
Yes, but they cannot talk
which
about the other
is
one.
one of the few games that is sponsored by AMD that still allows DLSS support. Because I said this before yesterday, but AMD came out and said, "Oh, we don't stop people from when we sponsor these games, we don't stop them from using DLSS. They can do what they want." And I was like, I don't think that's the case because
Yeah.
I've heard it's very easy. It's fairly easy and kind of to set up DLSS support for a game. So I mean,
Also, when they're-
Starfield's already got it. It's a mod.
when they're sponsoring the games, they're obviously being told you obviously have to put FSR2 in it. But how much of that cut into their time budget and that team does it for them to actually go and do DLSS as well? So it's like
That's true.
Yeah, it's stopping them from doing it a little,
But
regardless of whether or not they're telling them they can't.
I think it is very telling that Starfield got DLSS a mod within 24 hours of the early
Yeah.
access release.
Yes.
Like I think that is also very telling of how easy it maybe is to set up.
Which it's the
I'm-
same mod that works with Fallout and everything like
Oh,
that. Like it's
okay.
literally just like a direct bang in, pretty much. It's very close. at
It's not
least.
the first game this year that's gotten it. I know that Star
Yeah.
Wars Jedi Survivor has it as well. Although the guy that did the mod it's behind a fucking paywall.
Yeah, I saw
Just
that.
like
I did see
like I
that,
get it. I
yeah.
get you want to get paid, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about stuff like that. Just makes the game maybe accessible to more people. Is kind of weird to put it behind a paywall, but I understand they put work in, so they want to get paid, and it's fair enough. But yeah, no, it's definitely on my radar. I think Ubisoft, they might have a banger here. Who
Cook.
knows?
Yeah,
They might be
I'm
cooking.
hoping. I'm hoping
They might have cooked. Ubisoft
They-
Massive,
it
and also
might-
that the Star Wars game they showed, at E3 looked
Oh,
really,
true. Also
really
looked good.
So
Yeah.
that team's definitely the crown jewel of Ubisoft, I'd say.
Yeah,
What
they
they
are
made.
doing really well. Going on a little bit of a low though, Volition games being shut down. So the people that actually made Saints Row and Red Factions being shut down. This is immediately. It was immediate apparently. As soon as I saw the article, it said that it immediately was going to be shut down. So they came up with a post and said the Volition team has proudly created world-class entertainment for fans around the globe for 30 years. We have been driven by a passion for our community and has always worked to deliver joy, surprise, and delight. This past June, Embracer Group announced a reconstructing project to strengthen Embracer and maintain its position as a leader in the video game industry. As a part of that program, they evaluated strategic and operational goals to make different decision to close Volition
Made the
effective
difficult
immediately.
decision.
Oh, sorry, to make the difficult decision to close Volition effective immediately. To help our team, we are working to provide job assistance and to help smooth the transition for our Volition family members. We thank our customers and fans around the world for all the love and support over the years. You will always be in our heart, Volition Games. What do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about
This fucking sucks, man.
It sucks, man. Right? It really
This
does.
is so shit because like And I didn't even really blame Volition for the Saints Row reboot. I mean, to an extent, I guess they made a bad game, right?
Yeah.
But I think the fault almost entirely lies on Embracer Group, who, if you
Yeah.
don't know about them, Embracer Group is this kind of fucking unknown entity that has like they own Deep Silver, they grabbed THQ Nordic, and so like they publish the SpongeBob games and like a whole bunch of games that you probably don't know that they kind of handle. They have like 150 games in development across
Holy
40 different
shit.
development studios. And I just think they're poorly managed overall. I really
Yeah.
do. I think like this past year there was a story that came out saying like Embracer Group, they lost a deal, like a $2 billion deal. And that's what's caused this restructure. And it's like
Okay.
if one deal is what is kind of banking on you being able to keep studios that you manage open, like that's poor management. It just
They
is.
expanded a bit too fast by the sound of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like every single
100%.
year, they're like, "Oh, we picked up 200 new IP. We grabbed the Lord of the Rings IP." It's like they're just grabbing random shit.
So the
Yeah.
second one of them makes a bad game, they're like, yeah, fuck off, and just give
Yeah,
up.
basically.
Exactly. Like they make it's and that's honestly, I mean, we talked about this earlier in a previous podcast where like with how expensive games are, if a developer makes a bad game, like that could be it. Like that could
Yes.
be it where they're just like, especially with a team like Embracer Group that like like they're spending so much money and I feel like they're not making a huge return on a lot of this
Yeah.
stuff. Like the Saints Row reboot did not do well critically or commercially. I mean the SpongeBob games, maybe they do well. I don't know, but I feel like they make a lot of they're very much in the AA space, but I think they almost operate in like a AAA sense with just how much they are developing and how many developers they work for and how much they manage. It's like it's just too much. It's just too
Yeah.
much, and it's a lot of the time everyone was like, oh, maybe they're cooking here, but I just think they're just poorly managed. I really do. I
Yeah.
think they're just like expanding way too quick and they're like throwing everything at the wall. And
hoping something
nothing's
sticks.
hitting. Nothing
Yeah.
is hitting for this. They published Dead Island 2, which I think did decently well commercially, but
it did okay.
but critically,
Yeah.
it's
Dead
people
on.
aren't going to remember Dead Island 2 at the end of this year.
Exactly.
know.
Exactly. I
do
forgot
you
it
guys
came out
think?
this
I
year and
mean,
I played it.
yeah.
So I forgot this guy came out this year and I played that game. So, like I was gonna ask, have you guys played much of Saints Row, like Red Factions or anything
So
like that?
much.
So much.
Saints Row
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, and 4, to be honest, played a ton of. Obviously, as they came out more. I mean, I played a little bit of Saints Row 1, mostly Saints Row 3, and then post Saints Row 3, like the probably less each release. And I didn't even play like there was like that expansion called like Gat Out of Hell, where you
Oh,
play
yeah.
as Johnny Gat and he goes to hell, and it's just like it was just a random expansion. It was, but I didn't play that at all.
Yeah.
And obviously I didn't play the reboot either.
Yeah.
But
Nathan?
man, like it
Oh,
sucks
sorry.
that a 30-year-old developer is shut down because of
Bad management, right?
bad management.
Which it just sucks because I also played Saints Row 3 and 4. I really enjoyed the games. I enjoyed because it was like that was around the time when GTA was really serious. You know what I mean? GTA wasn't goofy like it is now. So you had this subsection which was kind of the goofy version of what GTA was, because this was around the same time as GTA 4. And it was fun. I really enjoyed it because it was just completely stupid, but it had its own feel to it. You know what I mean? It didn't feel like it was trying to rip off GTA or anything like that. It felt
Well, it's funny because like Saints Row 1 and 2, they sort of are like a carbon copy of GTA, like
Really?
previous
Yeah.
GTAs. And then Saints Row the Third was the one where they were just like, let's just kind of get crazy with it, like
Yeah.
kind of make our own version of this criminal simulator,
Yeah.
and get
No, that
kind of
was really
wacky. And
good.
then Saints Row 4 got even more crazy, and I think they
did.
dialed back a little bit with this reboot.
Hmm.
To be more like, I guess, like the enterprise kind of empire creation stuff, and you could
Yeah.
kind of set up your own different business opportunities throughout the city. So it was a little different, but
Yeah. And yeah, it just sucks because like it always sucks when a studio gets shut down because like those are like, especially a game like people like this where they have so many years, so many years of experience. You know what I mean? They have
Yeah.
so much talent, years of experience that now is just gone because
and
as you
they'll
said,
move
bad
out to do
management.
other things. And
Yeah, they'll
Yeah,
join
I'm
other
sure
studios.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I'm hoping that these developers don't, because I
All
know
split
a
up.
lot of the time when studios get shut down, a lot of people just leave the games industry because it's like,
Yeah.
you know, I can understand feeling very, very demoralized,
Mm.
and having to kind of start almost fresh to an extent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope these developers land on their feet post this. And
Yeah.
I'm fucking really worried about any other developer that's underneath Embracer
Under
Group
the
now.
name.
Yeah, they'd be
Because,
feeling
like,
that.
I mean, they own Crystal Dynamics now. They own
Oh Jesus.
Eidos Montreal. It's
Oh
like,
yeah,
so
that's scary.
a lot of the Western Square Enix devs, they got bought, I believe bought up by Embracer.
Oh, that's scary.
So
Yeah.
I don't know, we'll see, but I'm definitely feeling a little bit of unease with anything that's being in the pipeline for Embracer Group and any developers that are
Yeah.
working for them at the moment, because
That's
it
that's
just seems like they just don't know what they're doing. Honestly,
No.
it feels like that.
It just seems like,
Um,
yeah, as you said, they're buying a bunch of things, thinking that's a good idea, but now they don't have the money to support all of these
it
developers.
definitely seems like they're going for like the shotgun approach,
Yes.
where they're just hoping a pellet hits.
Yeah.
And so yeah, as I said, so far
So
it
far?
hasn't.
No.
They haven't, like, they're just like, they're not. It's sort of like you won't realize how many games they're releasing each year because they just don't make a splash really in any
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
I think the Saints Row
Also-
reboot was made a splash for the wrong reasons, and
Mhm.
Dead Island 2 made a splash in a time when there wasn't a lot out this year.
Going out. Exactly.
But quickly,
Exactly.
kind of went away.
It did. It did. That is very true.
And we'll never get a Red Faction game. So
Oh,
another Red
true.
Faction game. Very
True.
sad. Great
Yeah.
franchise. Red
Yeah.
Faction Guerrilla was a fantastic game.
It
It was one of the
what
only
was it?
like 360 PS3 games that was doing really good environmental destruction.
I was gonna say that was a game that had a really good environmental destruction. Yeah, I remember playing that
you
with my
could
friends.
you could flatten everything.
Yeah,
that
I
game.
remember, and then you could rebuild things as well, right? I remember
Yep.
doing that with my friends, where yeah, we would all fight in one house with each other, and then we had to just go until the house gets destroyed, and then rebuild it and just go again, right?
Yeah.
That's like, yeah,
You know,
that was a really fun game.
that was a really really great game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. It really does, because
Mhm.
I was hoping, even since the reboot wasn't great, I was hoping that they were maybe able to do another Saints Row, give it another shot, and that's probably not going to happen now.
Yeah, not gonna happen anymore. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Jamie, you did put the next one in, so actually I'll let you talk about it.
Sure, yeah. So I don't have any trailer for this because it's just some fucked news from PlayStation.
Yeah.
So PlayStation announces PS Plus price increase. So I took this from Press Start, our Aussie friends in the games industry. PlayStation has announced that it's increasing the price of a 12-month subscription on all 3 of its PlayStation Plus subscription tiers globally, with Aussie subscribers set to pay significantly more for a yearly subscription as of September 6th, which is that's next week. The new pricing for Australia will be as follows: PlayStation Plus Essential 12-month subscription was $79.95, is now $95.95. The PlayStation Plus Extra 12-month subscription was $134.95, is now $169.95. And the PS Plus Deluxe 12-month subscription was $154.95, is now $196.95.
$200
I
a
just
year.
So across the board, obviously the deluxe is going up just over $40.
Mhm.
The essentials going up just maybe 15, 16ish dollars, and then the extras going up $35.
Yeah, the percentage is about the same across all of them.
Yeah, I
Within
think
a
they said it's
couple of points.
33%
Yeah.
increase,
Mhm.
which is kind of insane.
That's a lot of money.
To just
Like,
because usually subscription services, I feel like they go like incrementally up.
not
But
just a
PlayStation's
huge
just
jump.
like, nah, fuck that. We are going all out.
Yeah.
This did just come
push
out,
it to
didn't it? Like
price.
these pricings, like these new,
Yes.
the old ones. Yeah. No, like
Oh, so
how-
yeah, so this
Yeah.
plan with the Essential Extra Deluxe was, I believe they just started at mid last year.
Mm.
So around a year ago.
It's weird because what a lot of people, like what a lot of companies do, is they put off price increases for years, and then inflation hits them really hard, and they go, okay, we got to inflate from the last 5 years, and
Mhm.
they hit you with a big price increase. But these prices have been in for like no time.
Yeah, not even, I think just over 12 months. And so it's just going to hit when people's 12-month subscription is running out. So then they'll be paying this upfront. Fortunately, so the good thing about PS Plus is that you can, when it's on sale, you can add to your current subscription. So my subscription's not running out till March 2025. Because whenever it's on
nice.
sale for like 20 to 40% off, I just grab it because I'm like, oh, it's cheaper now.
You might
so,
as well like push it up. Yeah.
So this won't hit me until 2025, which is nice.
They'll probably price increase again by then.
Yeah, do about
exactly. I mean,
$300,
that's the thing,
$300 then.
And at this point, like, if when it gets to March 2025, there's no way I'm
You're redoing
paying.
it?
Well, I've got deluxe, and it wasn't 155 when I got it. Just because I like to, but deluxe really isn't worth it. I think I'm not gonna upgrade. I'm not gonna do deluxe again because the only thing that's different between extra and deluxe is deluxe gets you like PS2, PSP games to play, like emulated, and you can play like free trials for some games.
Okay.
That's it.
Imagine...
And then extra is like just the Game Pass that you know and love, and then essential is the you get the I think 3 free games a month.
Oh, yeah, right.
Plus online. So yeah, man, this is like it's a hard pill to swallow. I think. It's a big increase all at once. It is still technically cheaper than Game Pass.
Yeah, I was about to say that it is. Yeah,
it is, but it just looks worse when it's the 12 months.
Yeah, do they even offer monthly deals?
PS Plus?
Yeah,
they do.
Okay.
And this is cheaper still.
No, yeah, I know, but I don't know many people who go for the yearly deal. It's just
for PS Plus
or for anything.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure there's.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot, but as a vast majority, I think most people just get a monthly thing and think they're gonna cancel it when they stop using it, and they don't.
Yeah, they don't. That's the thing. I mean, I go for the 12 months just because I'm like it's cheaper. So instead of doing the monthly increment, I mean, I don't know. And I think most people who are playing exclusively online on PlayStation.
Oh, for sure, it'd be worth a year if you only
months.
play on PlayStation. Yeah.
But yeah, Microsoft doesn't offer the 12 months anymore for But I mean, Gold I think still had 12 months, but Game Pass has never had a 12-month option. And so it's still, I believe, Game Pass now with the increase because they increased it up to I think Game Pass Ultimate's $19 a month. So yeah, it's actually significant. Like I'd say a little bit over what PS Plus is at the moment, but yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a weird timing, and I feel like they're almost releasing bad news because there's going to be good news soon.
Yeah,
I feel like they're just preempting.
The PS showcase. Yeah.
Like some kind of showcase. Maybe not like an actual PlayStation showcase, but maybe like a state of play where they do like the smaller stuff because they've still got to announce the date for Helldivers 2. We still need more information about Spider-Man 2. I know I guess we don't, but like I feel like there's not a lot out like compared to Spider-Man 2018 like when they were like I feel like they were hitting with different bits of information, but Spider-Man 2 has been fairly quiet.
I think the main reason for that as well is because 2018 Spider-Man, they kind of needed to sell it to you, but everyone knows how good Spider-Man 2018 was, so they're kind of keeping it on down wraps. Spider-Man 2.
True. I mean, that's true, but it is. I think just marketing in general. Like, there's
exactly. The marketing has been very
ads
slow.
on buses or there's no ads on TV. You know, like stuff like that. I think there's got to be some kind of. I mean, it's coming out in a month and a half. Well, just under 2 months, I guess. So they got time.
I was gonna say, just imagine being a parent now, and you're like, oh, you know what? I want to be nice. I want to buy my kid a PS5. You buy a kid a PS5, and the kid can say, hey, I need online. I need to get a PS Plus.
It's
like,
an extra.
Oh yeah, how much is
a year?
How much PS Plus? Oh, it's $100. Oh, okay. You know what? I could deal with that. And they look to you and say,
I need this game. It's $125.
Yeah, but it's $125 for the game.
Xbox Live Gold used to be $80 15 years ago. That was a fucking lot of money back then.
That was a lot of money.
Yeah, no, it was expensive. Yeah, for sure.
It's insane. It's actually insane. Like
I still think it's insane that console players have to pay for online.
Exactly.
I really do.
Moving the PC and
especially when we're using the same servers.
We don't have to, right? Yeah, exactly.
I honestly think like this whole pay for online thing is very ancient. Like it feels very much like a service out of time.
It does.
Where but because people keep paying for it, obviously, because
it's gonna work.
You're naturally going to.
Yeah.
They can continue to force people to pay for online, which it just feels archaic. Like it's almost to a point now with console where you might in the long term save money by going PC.
Yeah.
Versus being on console. If you think about how many yearly installments of PS Plus or Xbox Live Gold, which is now Game Pass Core, plus the price of games, I don't know. I plus controllers and peripherals and everything. Like, I don't know. it's becoming a very. I mean, it was already an expensive hobby, but it's becoming like even more expensive, especially this generation.
Yeah, it's
Um,
insane. It's actually insane.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
buying
it's
in-
pretty
How much
crazy
are
with
PS5 now? Like $800?
I think they're
6 to
still. I think they're
800?
900.
Oh my god, what? Hold
Imagine
on.
buying that
see.
and then being like, yeah, play online, you gotta buy this
Okay,
too.
they're 800 now.
Yeah.
Eight, so you're spending
900 with a game.
Ooh.
so 900. So you're spending a minimum if you want to get it with a game $1,000.
$1,000 for one
When-
game and a year of online and the game and the console.
We'll save some more. You
That's
get a good budget
crazy.
PC out of that. You know what I mean? And you don't have to spend a monthly, a yearly.
Yeah, because then the next year got to pay another $95.
Yeah, exactly. Just say get a
Um,
budget PC. Don't have to spend any more money on.
Yeah, it's crazy to me.
Yeah,
Like
that's so
how-
much money.
And I think honestly, I don't think the price is inherently that bad. I just think it's bad to
Comparable
do
to
it
Game
all at
Pass.
once.
Yeah.
It's just bad
It
to do it all
is.
at once, I think. I think if they were doing it slowly over years, being like, okay, we're increasing it by $10 or like 10% or whatever, it's like, okay, that's it's an easier pill to swallow. I just think they're just they're just kind of hoping that people deal with it, but not a lot of people are happy.
No.
Because it's like $160 for a year for like premium.
Yeah.
And they actually get more than Australia. They get the cloud streaming, so they can stream a bunch of
Oh,
PS3 games,
yeah.
but that service is not available in Australia.
And we're
It must
Yeah,
just
so
be
you're-
a mix of them seeing what other people are willing to pay for other services, and then being like, okay, well, we can charge that, and then also inflation last financial year was fucked. It was terrible. So
it was.
that probably hit them a decent amount. And they're like, oh, we may as well just do it now and get it over with, and maybe
Yeah.
maybe we won't see another one for a couple of years. And it'll be
Maybe.
good, but yeah.
I think they just need to. These services, like they haven't proven why this price increase makes
Needs to
sense for the
happen.
consumer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I don't think people are gonna feel like they're getting $40 of extra value out of deluxe. I think extra is actually pretty good. It's got a wide range of great games. Although for some reason they cycle in and out exclusives to their own platform, which I always think is weird.
That's
I,
odd.
I feel like they would just keep like Spider-Man 2018, Miles Morales on the the store, like on the service, but yeah, I don't know. Sony's fucking weird, man. They're like
Sony, yeah.
one foot in, one foot out when it comes to this like subscription service stuff. So
Just do what Xbox does. It's great. It works well.
well,
Yeah.
I mean, they will never ever do same day and date
Yeah, no.
because they
Oh,
would lose
true.
so much money. Because
Yeah,
the thing is,
it's
like,
pretty crazy.
not everyone is gonna. 10 million people aren't gonna play Redfall for 100. Aren't gonna pay for Redfall $120, but they will try it on Game Pass.
True.
Yeah.
True.
But everybody is gonna be playing Spider-Man 2. on
yeah,
day one,
exactly.
So
Yeah, they'd lose
Exactly.
money.
they would lose money for sure.
Yes.
You want to get to the next one?
Yeah, okay, so
Cito?
the next one, sorry, I'm just getting the time. So it just came out today, basically. There has been a new ranks system that's going to come out with CSGO 2. So
CSGO 2?
CSGO 2.
CSGO. Oh, sorry. CS2.
CS2.
Counter-Strike
CS2.
2.
I wrote CSGO 2. Yeah. It's called Premier Mode. So basically, it's an overhaul to the ranking system, a change to the map length. Then there's also with this going to come into a rework with the map Inferno. And then it's actually going to be open up to limited time to actually CSGO players. So what the changes are is, it says here, the changes are to the rank system are considerable, with all new CS rating determining where players stand on global and regional leaderboards with refresh each competitive season. The ranking will only apply to Premier Mode, which is clearly intended to be the main competitive focus of Counter-Strike 2, and separate ratings will apply to non-Premier competitive playlists. The latter uses the existing skill ranking that are applied to a per map basis. So basically, you can be like global elite on Dust 2 and silver on Vertigo. So you have different rankings on different maps. That's how it actually works now. Which is
not sure how I feel.
interesting. Yeah, it's interesting, right? Like,
I think it is.
uh,
It is funny though for all the people that that just play Dust 2 and then they hop onto like another map and it's like, oh, they're fucking like Dirt 1.
Yeah, they're-
like they're
Yeah.
global
Yeah,
elite
that's
on
true because you
Dust
can
2.
filter by maps, can't you?
you
So
can
you
filter
can.
by maps.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you could
So
just have
that
people
makes
that
sense
are
then. Yeah.
yeah.
Like when maps do play a huge part into how Counter Strike.
Oh, definitely.
Plays, you
Yeah,
know,
because
yeah,
you can learn you learn the spots and the smokes
yeah,
and
you can
everything.
you learn smoke spots and whatnot, right? Exactly, and it's gonna be definitely like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, I like it.
I think
do
it's a
like
good
it.
change.
It is. I
Yeah, and I
like
think
it.
it's good.
I don't think it's a bad change by any means, but like I'm not really the demographic for this because I don't know how much of an impact this is going to have. Some other things that we're also having
People
in
who are
is
good at the game will be salty.
yes. The other thing that they're going to do is they're making shorter rounds, which is interesting. There wasn't too much in the article that said about it, that's why I didn't say
Shorter
it here,
rounds or
but
shorter games?
so they in the
Like
article they
less
said
rounds.
how no, it was like so it's your typical 15-15, so 15 counter terrorists, 15 terrorists. Apparently, it's going to be shorter versions of that. So it's going to be
Sure,
they
yeah.
said it's going to be reducing the fat. That's what Valve actually said.
So less rounds per game.
Yeah,
So
basically
what?
less rounds. I
Yeah.
think
So
it
what?
is.
It should be like that.
What
yeah.
Valorant does.
Yeah.
Yeah, less rounds per game, which good. I like that
15's
as
too
well.
many.
15
It is
is
too
a
many.
lot.
When you get into a
man.
31 round game, it's just like
It's insane.
I
You're
wanna
so
die.
tired of them.
And CS is the one where you have to be 2 rounds ahead, right? Or is that only
no,
Valorant?
I think it ties
No,
at 15-15.
It ties at
Yeah,
15.
that's right, yeah, it
does. Yeah, that's
right. Yeah.
Valorant does the 2 rounds ahead.
Yeah, so we like it. I was gonna ask you boys because another thing I wanted to bring this in with. You're guys gonna try CS2, right? You guys gonna try it when it comes out?
Yeah, I mean it's free,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's. I imagine it's free. Imagine it is.
Yeah, it's definitely free to play.
Are you gonna try this mode or are you gonna try
Competitive?
normal competitive?
Well, I think this is competitive. Like,
yeah,
so
I
there's
don't think they
two-
offer two, right?
No, there
I
is
think
two.
this is-
So there is Premiere and then there is a non-Premiere.
oh yeah,
competitive
apply to
playlist.
non-premier competitive playlist.
There is gonna be two.
That's
okay?
interesting. I don't think they should do
This-
that.
This Premiere mode is
I
gonna
feel like
be
everyone's just
apparently the
gonna do
main
non-Premiere.
focus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
This is the main yeah, but I mean, they can say it's the main focus, but
But if
if
no
but
one
then
plays
drop
it.
back, right? But drop back on the old one, right? Exactly it. So, yeah, what are you guys gonna play this
Interesting.
one? Are you guys?
I wonder if like they're gonna remove non-premier at some point.
I think they
If
will.
they've just got it as like a tried and true, like if people want to just go the old CS:GO route
I
and
think
then
they
eventually
will.
like sunset it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they will. I don't see why they would keep it around this.
It
as
is
well.
weird that they have both. Because I thought,
Yeah.
I thought Premiere was going to be like the new thing.
Nah,
but-
apparently, yeah. There's gonna be two. There's gonna be both of them.
Myself, I play non-premier just because I don't play. You know, the amount of time that I would put into this game is not that much. I don't want to have to get a rank on every map or
True,
maps that
true.
I play. I just want to
Well,
get
I guess
a
you
rank.
could technically. I mean, you could technically just like not filter out any maps and just
Yeah, but I don't
and
want
just
to.
do
I don't
all
want to play this. Oh, yeah, no, I see what you mean, but
like
then it would
you
take
don't
really
have to
long time.
necessarily filter for the same map over and over and over again. You can just filter for every map and then
Yeah, and just go.
work
Yeah, but then-
towards all the ranks on all the
Then you
maps.
might as well
if
do
you
yeah,
want
non-competitive.
to.
but then it would take a long time to get ranks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how many matches it's going to
Yeah.
take. to
Yeah,
get ranked on
it
a
would
map.
be less. It would be less than.
Because
I
if
think
it's
it
like
would-
5 games, then you know if you're filtering every map, it might take you like a month or 2 months to get a couple of
ranked
ranks.
on each.
Yeah, I don't think it
Yeah.
says how many placements there are
doesn't.
per map.
No, it
map
doesn't.
rank.
It didn't say.
I'd say
Um,
minimum
you-
of 5. Usually it's
I
Allowed to use the existing skill rankings that are applied on a per map basis. Wait,
Oh wait, is this a skill? Oh no, yeah.
Wait,
So,
so it
that
says-
makes sense. That makes sense.
separate ratings will apply to the non-premier competitive playlist. The latter will use the existing skill ratings and are applied on a per map basis.
Yeah. So basically, it's ever going across like your entire game.
But it sounds like
career.
it's saying the non-premier competitive playlists use the existing skill rankings and are applied on a per map basis. See what it-
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wait.
The changes to the ranking system are considerable, with an all-new CS rating determining
Yeah, they're
where
like
players stand on global and regional leaderboards, which refresh each competitive season. This rating will only apply in Premier mode, so the global and regional leaderboard rating will only apply to in Premier mode, which is clearly intended as the main competitive focus in CS2. And separate ratings will apply to the non-Premier competitive playlists. The latter use the existing skill ratings and are applied on a per map basis.
no, so it's the
So
other,
it's-
other way around.
It was the other way around.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Premier
doesn't matter.
is you have a single rank across leaderboards.
Yeah.
And then non-Premier is you have a rank per
Okay.
map.
And did that? So the way I understand that, it's that premier region based as well. Is that what I heard you say?
Yeah.
Premier
with-
is global and regional.
yeah,
leaderboard,
global
okay.
and regional.
which
league.
refresh
okay.
each competitive season.
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
So
yeah.
everyone will just play that then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
But then it takes your existing skill ranking and then applies that skill on a per map basis in non-Premier competitive. leagues.
Oh, so it does both at the same time.
It does
It's doing
both
both at the same
time.
time.
So what's the
Okay.
point of non-premiere?
Yeah, what's the point of
existing
not? I think
I'm
it's just
really
there as a
not sure.
gimmick. I think it's just there as a
I don't
gimmick.
know.
then? Yeah.
I do think it's there as a
I
gimmick.
honestly, the more I read this, the more confused I get
I
because
think
it was
that's a cool
very
stat
clear.
to be able to see, but not a whole mode for
Yeah.
it, you know? Like I think
Yeah.
both would be cool to exist, but yeah,
Mhm.
definitely like why yeah, I don't know.
Why?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't make much sense. But hey,
Hmm.
that's. I thought it was
Yeah.
interesting. I thought it was interesting.
So
I
when
think
you're
that the way
playing
for-
Premiere, you aren't going up ranks, you're going up like leaderboards.
yeah, you're going up leaderboards instead.
Okay.
You
That's
don't know.
weird.
I
It's
mean,
weird.
I think that's a better show of skill because, like, obviously, if all the players that are
That's how
that
it works
global
anyway,
elite,
right? You just yeah.
well, yeah, but
Once you hit the
well,
top
but
500,
you
yeah.
don't see your MMR in
No.
CS, right? So I guess like the leaderboard is almost seeing it. Like it shows like what is it? I can't read that.
You
Like,
can't
I
read it. Yeah.
So it just has. Oh, see, yeah. So it has your rating.
I'm pretty sure that's how MMR has always worked in CS. Is it's you're compared
yeah.
against the
But
world.
you're actually seeing it now,
Yeah, yeah,
as opposed to it just
Oh.
everyone who's like in the 1 to 1,000 being global elite.
yeah. So it's realistically no different, but it's just
It's no
something
different,
you see,
but
yeah.
it's a better show of skill versus
Definitely.
just the
Yeah.
blanket rating system.
Yeah,
But you can see that rating system on a per map basis in non-Premiere.
yeah, yeah. I get it.
I
get
actually like Premiere. I like the idea of that.
I do
Yeah.
like the idea of it. I think it does sound really good.
I think that's a better way of
I think just
people being
delete
able
the
to grind
non-premier
up the
game
ranks.
mode, and then
Yeah,
keep
and we'll
the
be
per
set,
map
right?
rankings.
Yeah.
and then that's cool. Yeah,
Yeah, and we'll be set.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
why you would go into the non-Premiere
yeah,
competitive
because you're not
playlist.
going towards your, but you're still getting like non-premier rankings. Yeah, it's that's yeah, it's like no point.
It's
to
very
play.
odd. It's very
I'm just
odd.
looking forward to this game coming out so I can understand this.
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah,
the
this makes
more-
no sense.
The more I dig into it, the less it makes sense. Like,
Mhm.
But no, that's cool. I like that
Yeah.
they're making some changes.
I like that.
Because I know people would have complained for a very long time about how CSGO does rankings, and that's why a lot of people just play on. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. The pro league shit, where it's like the private servers.
Oh god, yeah.
Fuck, what's it called?
I-
No, I can't remember. Man.
Yeah.
It's like right there.
Yeah.
Something it. Oh man, I can't remember it. Oh well. That mode. This
Face
is
it.
almost like
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
I
yeah,
think. Because that is how it works. It is
Face it.
just like it's just a rating on that the pro league
Yeah.
shit. Man, I'm that's gonna kill me not knowing it.
Face it.
Face it, thank you. I
Yeah.
didn't realize just yeah, face it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. It's sort of taking what face it does.
Yep.
So
Very cool.
Yeah, I guess that's a good thing because they've been seeing what the community's been doing, and they're like, all right, well, I guess we'll do that.
we'll adopt it ourselves.
Yeah. Rightio. Okay, want to get to what we've been playing? That's
What
it for all
we've been
that?
playing.
Okay, let me make sure that's time right. That is correct. Okay, I think we'll start off because I think it'll be like the two quicker ones. I think we'll do Baldur's Gate 3. I think Baldur's Gate 3. I think we'll.
Yeah,
start off
I'll
with.
be super quick on Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah,
We've
because
obviously,
so
as
we have
David
both
said,
finished
this is
it.
week 5 of week
Yeah.
number 5 of talking about
We have
Baldur's
both
Gate
finished
3.
it. We have both finished the game.
Well,
We have
technically,
both-
all 3 of us have finished it.
Yeah,
you know.
technically, we
Nathan
all
was
three
the
of us
first to
finished
finish
it
the
now.
game.
I was so
Yeah.
fast, man.
Yeah, dude, you were a
Yeah,
speed runner,
we
man.
just ignore the part where the narrator says, "This is not what we
This is not
intended
the
for
end
you
we
to do."
wanted.
But, yeah, you can take it.
What did you think of it, Jamie?
I really do love this game a lot. It is one of the best games this year. It's probably one of the best RPGs I've ever played. But I do think the sort of epilogue-esque stuff that happens at the end of the game was pretty underwhelming for me.
Yep.
I feel like it didn't fully take into account a lot of what I had done, who was in my party, and what their journeys had been throughout the entire game. And I feel like it didn't allow me to make choices that I would have wanted to make throughout the game based on cut content, budget reasons, last minute changes, whatever it may be. Particularly with characters like Karlach
Yes.
and Shadowheart,
Mhm.
where like I'm just not happy with Karlach's ending. I'm really not
Nope.
because
Yep.
it doesn't make sense for what I did for every other party member for her to get the short end of the stick.
Yep.
When it comes to her journey. Without
Yep.
I'm not trying to spoil anything, but and the fact that there is no way to kind of get a good ending with her
Mhm.
is disappointing to me as a
Yes.
character, like for her as a character that I really, really enjoyed interacting with. For
Mhm.
her to get like a subpar ending,
Yeah.
like kind of equivalent to if you just ignored what she was trying to get you to do throughout the game. It's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Really did not like that they cut that stuff.
Yep.
And they are making changes. They're bringing in
Yeah, they're
new
bringing in new
epilogue
endings.
stuff.
Basically, yeah, all of the epilogue stuff they cut, they're gonna slowly start bringing it back in.
Well, they haven't necessarily said everything.
Well,
They
said
said specifically Karlach stuff is back in the game.
well, no, because in the Steam thing, they said that they cut they cut a lot of epilogue stuff out because it was gonna be too long, and they thought that players would not want to sit through. And then they said
Which
that
is stupid because I've already played 111 hours of your game.
Yeah, they
And
immediately
a
said
couple
they
extra hours
realized
is
that
not
was
going to change much.
due to player feedback, they realized that was wrong, so they're gonna add. They literally said they're gonna add the epilogue stuff back in.
I
slowly.
honestly think they're fibbing a little bit.
I think it's
I
gonna
think this
come back
content was
definitive
not
edition.
ready.
Yeah,
It was buggy, and they cut it
Oh.
because it was not working.
I was.
And now, because of some of the mild backlash they're getting, they're going to slowly bring it back. And like in a year's time, there'll be a definitive edition
Mhm.
with the content that has been removed.
I was saying before as well, basically a similar thing is that like they cut the content either because it wasn't ready or this kind of like artificial DLC, you know what I mean? Things you come back to, like kind of prolongs the lifespan until definitive edition comes out with everything and now has a nice bow and everything's finished, right?
Yeah, because I was like when I finished the game, because there was a really big thread on a gaming forum that it's called Reset Error.
Yep.
And it was like a list of everything that had been found like data mined, and there's so much.
There's so
like
much that's gone.
Maybe
Yeah.
another 50 hours of content that is just not in the game at the moment. That is just dead. That is just that they cut very quickly, like before launch. I feel because I remember them talking, saying we've got 175 hours of cutscenes. We've got to fit a normal playthrough will be 100 hours, but if you want to do everything in a playthrough, that'll be 200 hours.
Yeah.
I am not sure how I could squeeze 200 hours out of the content in the game.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel I literally did everything.
Also, if it's been data mined, that means it was there recently.
It was there,
Yeah.
exactly. So I just think, it just sucks that it's almost like I was satisfied with a lot of what this game did in Act 3. But I guess the idea of knowing that there was more that would have fleshed it out even more and given me more moments with Karlach and maybe some of the other companions. And even, kind of even with the villains, with the Dead 3, I think
Exactly.
if there was more to them and more confrontations with them, even like as earlier in Act 2, I think it just would have been a better experience. So it's not so much that this is a experience I don't think you should play now, but I think it's like the idea of like what could have been,
Yeah.
and especially knowing very specific things about what could have been in the game that was in the game, 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. This is like still probably this is not still probably what the hell's that? This is still my game of the year. Like I still fucking love this video game. I still love this game, but I
haven't played Tears of the Kingdom though.
Yeah, I haven't played Tears of the Kingdom. That's the thing. The thing is though, is that like I do agree with you that the ending is still a bit underwhelming. It hasn't really taken away too much of my enjoyment of the.
It didn't take away too much.
Yeah, no. The one as you said, the biggest thing for me as well is that like I was talking about beforehand. There's a lot of content that I felt like I could tell you that was cut. Like one
Stuff speeds up.
Yeah, like one that I could tell was very prominent was like there was some sort of crafting system because there was workbenches, there was alchemy tables, there was all of this stuff everywhere, and you could pick up stuff that was only there to sell, like water bottles or like the infernal iron and stuff like that, like all this stuff that like doesn't have a use, you know what I mean? But you
Soul
get
coins
so much of it
as well.
Soul coins, right?
Were
You
meant
get
to be
so
an
much of
item
it.
you could use to buy items from a certain character that was going to sell you stuff that's not in the game.
Yeah, and like it was like there's so much that is there that you could tell had a use but then got cut, right?
It's like half there. Yeah,
It's half
like
there,
you're seeing
right?
you're seeing the foundations of things that were there but they just stripped it out. Which is
Exactly.
crazy because this game is fucking massive.
It's already
but there is still it still feels like there is so much that they took away.
Like last night we were doing a multiplayer playthrough, and it's insane the things they thought about we went to Act 1, we went to the Druid camp, there was a child there, okay? The child was basically taken by the Druids, and the parents were fighting for it, and then the child dies. Shadow then picks up the child body, and then as a joke, we're like, oh, we're gonna flop it in front of the dead parents.
I'll
Nothing's
put it
gonna
at the parents'
happen.
feet and see
We
what
do it,
happens.
and they immediately freak out because their child's body's in front of them. Like, it's insane. Just
And
the
then
intricate
Shadow
details.
stashed the child's body on Nathan, and he got arrested.
Yeah,
he nearly got
he
arrested.
nearly got arrested.
Yeah, bro, I'm just standing in front of shopkeep, and he's like, he just pulls out his sword, and he's like,
Yeah,
"Oi."
Hey, what's that? What's that? You got that?
But like, yeah, it's insane the stuff you can do. But this game is already like amazing, and they're gonna slowly start adding the stuff back in with the definitive edition. This game is gonna be like really good. It just sucks it's not here now.
I
You know
mean,
what
it's
It
already
does
really
suck.
good. It's like the
Oh,
idea is
yeah.
like they could honestly, like, if I didn't know
About all that
all
stuff.
of all the data mine stuff, I would still be a little baffled
Mm,
by particularly my endings for Karlach and Shadowheart.
yes.
But I wouldn't think, oh, they cut 50 hours of stuff out of this game,
Exactly.
and confrontations and quest lines and a whole bunch of stuff. Like, I wouldn't think that necessarily, having seen it, like, now obviously I know like what could have been there.
Yeah.
And also, but man, for Shadowheart, like, it's so confusing. It's so confusing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Your ending
all
with
these
Shadowheart
characters
was
are like talking about their journeys and like and their endings and what they're gonna do next. And Shadowheart says nothing
Mhm.
in the end in my playthrough. Nothing. She
Yeah,
was in
I
my
do
party
generally
from the
think your shit
get go.
bugs.
Never left my party. I did all the stuff, like her quest line, gave her, what she wanted. There was a really great ending, I said towards the beginning of Act 3 for me and for
Mhm.
her. And then we finish, we do what we had to do, and then she's just silent, standing there.
Yeah,
And I honestly
He
think
used
it
you,
bugged.
man.
no,
He's a
I
gold
I
digger.
honestly think it bugged because like
I
it just
do generally
looked
think
weird.
it did because I watched like other endings and every single one of them Shadowheart is say at least something. You know what I mean?
Well, she said 2 lines, nothing
But what
to
I
do
mean is
with,
like she also does the same thing everyone else does, but for like yours did. I think yours genuinely did bug. I think yours
which is so
genuinely
disappointing.
did.
It's like, well, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
I've played 100 plus hours of your game, and the ending is like bugged. It's like, that
Yeah.
sucks. That's so lame. So this is
is.
not my game of the year.
Yeah,
Based
yeah.
on how the ending went down for me, which I was fine with, like the emotional climax of like the actual ending, but the stuff afterwards, I was like, this is like really cobbled together, like
Mhm.
really, really, really like did not feel very satisfying to me overall. Still, as I said, still love the game, but I think for me, Tears of the Kingdom is still
Still a little bit above.
the reigning champ at the moment for me.
Yeah. No. I understand
yeah.
that. I understand that. Yeah, no, it's like I will say as well. This is I really did enjoy the final act. Like, you know what I mean? Once you make that final decision and there's no turning back, you're into that like the kind of the start of the
Sure,
epilogue.
the final climax of the game.
Yeah, and you're going through that. I thought that was really cool. I thought like going through
I
all
also
that.
thought it was really cool.
I'm not gonna say what happens, but you know, Jamie, it's really cool. All that
Yeah.
final bit is really, really cool. I did enjoy that quite a lot. But yeah, it's just that final little bit. It's just that little epilogue. I don't
It's
know
like
what
that
they were
last
thinking.
15 to 20 minutes. Is
I don't
like-
know what they're thinking because like I put so much time into your game. I'm fine with sitting down for 20 minutes to watch a bunch of cutscenes of
And as
what
I said,
everyone's
I
doing.
don't think that. I really don't believe it. I honestly
No,
don't believe
yeah.
that's the reason. I can't imagine them thinking people don't want to sit and watch 1 to 2 hours of putting a nice bow in the 100-hour journey they've just had.
Exactly right.
I
yeah.
find that hard to believe, honestly.
Yeah, I'm gonna like once they actually start bringing everything out and whatnot. Like I think in a year's time, the ending should hopefully be finished, especially when the definition.
Yeah, I'll just
edition
wait
is
for
out.
them to do the whatever enhanced edition or
In-
definitive edition that they
in-
surely will do because they've done that for their previous 2 games.
In Divinity 2, when the definitive edition came out, did you have to pay for that, or did you just get it?
I think it was a free upgrade if you had the game.
It was free upgrade. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay,
I believe
that's
so.
better. That would definitely make sense.
That would be. I mean, that would be kind of weird if they were like, yeah, I don't know. I
We
think,
released
yeah,
an unfinished
yeah,
game.
all the content
Pay
you
for the
wished for in the base game. Yeah, now
Yeah.
pay $100 for the new version. No, I don't think they're gonna do that. I
No,
think it
not
will
at
be. Larian to me reminds me of CD Projekt Red, where they they'll do the right thing, and they know people will.
Mm.
You know, if there's new ending content, that was originally in the game that they're gonna develop and bring back, I think that would probably be free. I would
Yeah.
hope so, but
Hope so. Nah,
we'll
bro.
see.
Extra
Yeah.
60
So I
bucks,
think
easy.
once they do a definitive edition, that's when I'll go back and
Yeah.
when the game will feel finished. I was gonna
Mhm.
say like, if I had to score each act, it's like Act 1 is like a 10,
Yes.
Act 2 is like a 8 to 9,
Mhm.
and then Act 3 is like honestly to me like a 6 to a 7 in that range.
Yeah, I would.
Like I really do think it drops off quite substantially
I
compared to
said
Act
to you
1 and 2.
beforehand. I said to you beforehand. You could definitely tell that Act 1 is the beta. Like that's the most polished easily. You can tell Act 2 was the next thing they worked on. You tell the Act 3 was the last thing they worked on.
You said this
You
before the game even came out.
Yeah,
You said
like-
their games usually just drop in quality as the game goes along.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
same
it
thing
just
happened
sucks.
in Divinity 2. It's the same thing that happened in
Yeah.
Divinity 2. Act 3 was also kind of the weak point of Divinity 2, right? That's just how.
Well, to be fair, this is I from what I've heard from Divinity 2, this turned out a lot better than Divinity 2 did. Where
Really?
for some people, Divinity 2 base game, the ending was legitimately broken, where characters that had died randomly popped up and started talking. Like it was completely fucking busted.
Oh,
Like
that's great.
to
That's
the
really
point where
funny.
it's like completely unsatisfying, really really bad.
That's really
Um,
funny.
So yeah, that was it was obviously it's much better than that. There weren't
That's good at
random
least.
characters that like the bad bitch who can be your companion in Act 1 didn't randomly show up in Act 3 for me.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Yeah. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, so it's a lot better
Cool.
than that, but yeah, it does. It did feel surprisingly unfinished, I felt.
Yeah. But yeah, just wait and we'll talk about it again in a year's time.
We'll
give it
talk
that.
about it in 2024.
Exactly. Come back
Surely
then.
there won't be a million other games to play next year.
Yeah. Jamie, Armored Core 6.
Oh god.
Is it good?
This game is like, so here's the thing. So I think last week I was a bit tentative on Armored Core 6.
Yes.
Mainly because the game hadn't clicked for me.
Mhm.
Right. So I was still in the first mission. I'd only
Yep.
played like less than an hour
Mhm.
when we did the podcast. Because I can't remember what we played that night, but we played something else instead of me playing Armored Core 6.
I think we did a Halo campaign. We did the Halo campaign.
We did the
Check
Halo
that out.
campaign. That's right. And the game didn't immediately click for me.
Mhm.
It has now it has clicked with me real hard.
Mhm.
This game is like, it's such a guilty pleasure where it's just lizard brain
Yes.
neuron activation bullshit. The
Mhm.
video game where it's just you are just spamming weapons. It's like it is the polar opposite to a Souls game where
Mhm.
like you've got to be really strategic and really like you got to really worry about your resource management and everything like that and when to dodge. This game is like, bro, just use everything all at once. Whenever it's up, use the missiles, use your fucking guns, stagger that shit, bring in the melee weapon. It is just like ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like it's
Mhm.
ridiculous in the best way possible. And I have had so much fun going through these missions. I'm now in chapter 4, and I
Nice.
believe there's 5 chapters. So I've
Yeah.
nearly finished my first playthrough. I will get to it at some point because obviously we have Starfield now.
He didn't do it. He couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it. I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna blame you guys, but we did play games on Thursday night, so
We
you know
did.
that was gonna be my Armored Core 6 night, but that's okay.
But we
Hey,
finally finished Halo.
We did finally finish Halo. It was
We
worth
did. After how long?
It's been a while.
It took many months, many
been a
months.
long time.
Right, Jamie and I finished the 2-player Halos in like a few weeks.
Yeah.
Couple
It
of
took us
sessions,
like
few sessions.
6 to 7 months to actually fully
Yeah.
do
Yes, it
the
did.
entirety of the campaign.
But yeah, dude, From Software just understands gameplay on a
Oh, they
level
do.
that very,
Yeah.
very action gameplay specifically on a level that very few developers do.
Mhm.
I think, I could compare them to like Platinum Games when it comes to action games,
Mhm.
or even Capcom when it comes to Devil May Cry 5, and the Devil May Cry series in general. But it just feels good to move around in this mech. Like you
Mhm.
would expect them to be super heavy, super, super like tanky, but you just move, you just skate around, you're moving
Mhm.
constantly. There's a real nice fluidity. The game really, really recommends that you are aggressive. Like aggression is like
Yes.
the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I didn't understand immediately with this boss in particular, where I was like, oh, I'm gonna stay back and just shoot them a little bit. But they want you to fucking run
Get into
like
his face.
jet at it and fucking use your sword to
Mhm.
slice it to bits. So it's very, very aggressive based, very, very speedy, fights can last like 90 seconds. Like the one-on-one AC fights can last really like a very short amount of time. It's like instead of it being a marathon like some of the From Software previous bosses, it is very much like a sprint where it's like you need to make very, very like a ton of micro decisions very quickly to take down your opponent super fast. And it's just very satisfying. It's like
It
a great
is.
time. The bosses are great. The one caveat I have for this game is that the story is sort of non-existent. Like
It
a lot of it's
is-
being told via radio, like radio transmissions at the beginning and end of matches, end of missions, sorry, and some like journals you can pick up.
It is
But
very much like the story is what gets you to the place. You know what I mean? It's not that it's like the
it
story.
doesn't
Like,
feel
oh,
like
this is
it doesn't feel like a continuous thread.
Yes.
It feels like you're a mercenary, do this mission for this company, do this mission for this company, do this mission. And there is, now that I'm into chapter 4, there is a bit of that thread that's like I'm making choices in this game.
Okay.
There are missions where you either do this mission or you do this mission, and that will affect the game.
outcome?
I don't want to spoil too much because there is some narrative elements that do change. There are multiple endings. I've heard people compare this to Nier Automata, where the
Ooh.
first playthrough is not the end,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and multiple playthroughs will get you to the like actual ending.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very excited to do multiple playthroughs of this game, which I didn't
Yes.
expect to be feeling like. But yeah, I'm really digging it. From Software does not miss.
No, very good. It's very good. Cool. Very good. Okay. Yeah, I don't have too much to say myself because I have not played that much since we last talked. So I will talk about more next week, potentially, maybe.
Next
Okay,
week,
we'll
or are
see.
you gonna play Starfield?
Yeah, we'll wait and see. Talking about Starfield. Starfield.
Starfield.
Yeah, it is here. Who would like
After
to
you.
start about Starfield? Who would like to talk first about Starfield?
I want
4
to
out
say
of 10.
preemptive. I want to say preemptively. I cannot talk too much about it because I have not been able to play too much of it. I've been too busy. So I will just agree and nod my head while you guys say things. So go ahead.
Nathan, you want to go first?
Start off with things that I think are negative. Not so much
Starting
like
with the-
negative,
starting with the
just that
negatives.
I would like to have seen a little bit better. It's pretty much all to do with space travel and how you move throughout the universe.
Yes.
And this did come to light like just before it released, when people were just like, "Look at this, bad game." It's not
Invisible
like
barrier.
terrible.
Invisible barrier.
Yeah, it's not terrible. I just wish it was done a little bit better.
Sure.
You travel between planets and systems completely through menus, and then to go throughout the system is through menus, to land is through menus, everything is through menus, and I just feel like
And
it's
loading
too much
screens.
menu interaction constantly. And like, so you take off from a planet, you get into space, and it's like, great, you're in space. Now what? You want to travel somewhere else? You just open a menu straight away again. Oh, you go to that new place. What do? You open a menu straight away again. And it's like, you're just constantly opening a menu to go to a new place when you get places. And hate to compare it to No Man's Sky, but it's like the obvious comparison of when you want to go somewhere in space, you just look at it, you point, and you go. And I kind of wish it was a bit like that. Maybe even it wasn't completely similar. I like just being able to point your ship to a place and just go travel. Even if it was just a waypoint in the sky, because obviously there has to be. Starfield prides itself on being somewhat accurate. No Man's Sky is not. Every planet in the sky is fucking huge. That system would be chaos and it wouldn't exist. Realistically, in real life, you can't see other planets. They're tiny little glimpses in the sky. So, even if it was just a waypoint in the air, just floating, I feel like it would be a little bit of a better experience than just like,
So,
menu.
The crazy thing is so I've noticed when I'm in a system and I select a mission to follow and I'm in space, I can look at the waypoint in space and
Yeah.
it's the blue hexagon
You can see
dot,
where it is.
but I still have to go to a menu
Mhm.
to then go to the star system. And then on top of that, and I know this is accurate, and I know that I'm sure I'll get a bigger ship that has more fuel. So I got this mission where it was transport these 2 settlers to this star system. So I go to the map. So I'm following the mission. I say, like, show me on the star map. It shows me where the system is. It's 5 jumps away. But instead of just allowing me to automatically go system to system, and maybe there is a way to do that, but for
don't
me,
think
I
there
had
is.
to go 1 jump, menu, One jump,
Yeah.
menu. One
And
jump, menu.
see, normally that makes sense because, like, again, comparing to No Man's Sky, you have a maximum jump range, but
Yes.
in between those jumps, you have to refuel.
Mm.
But in Starfield, you don't have to refuel.
No,
It just
automated.
has a max jump range, and that's it. It's an immediate refuel. So that's why I don't think that works quite right, just because it's like you're just constantly going and going. You don't need to get anything.
I think I understand why they do the multiple, like having to do multiple jumps, because there were moments where I would jump to a system and I get a random encounter. Someone would come up to me and say, "Hey, I need ship parts. I need help. There's pirates after me." So I think if you could just jump a million jumps away, you would miss some of those moments.
That's true. Yeah.
But I do think if they like what they should do is allow you to do multiple jumps and then stop you when a random encounter happens.
Yeah.
And then you can choose to engage with that encounter or continue.
Yeah,
I
that would
think
be
that's
good.
a better way.
Yeah.
I think there's just a lot of quality of life things missing from
Yeah.
this game. I remember when Fallout 4 came out and I said that it felt like the game was built in a vacuum where they had not kind of had an ear to the ground in terms of the industry and how the industry had evolved since Skyrim and even Fallout 3. And Starfield does to a lesser extent feel a little bit like that, where this game is so much more ambitious than Fallout 4, and it feels like Bethesda like firing on all cylinders. But it does feel like a lot of quality of life stuff is missing. And obviously the moving between worlds is a big part of that.
Yeah.
The amount of loading screens is also another part of that, where there isn't that seamless movement through.
It feels like you're in lots of boxes and you're just moving from box to box.
Exactly.
It does break up the immersion a lot, especially when you're moving, even within rooms within the same facility. There are occasional points where it's like you press E to go through the door and it's a loading screen. They're quick, but it does fade to black and then fade out. And it's like, I think back to games like even The Witcher, where there are very few loading screens, except when you're moving whole regions away. But when you're in Whitechapel, you walk into a bar, you just walk in. Like there's no loading screen. It's all seamless. And that game came out 8 years ago. So it's like a lot of games, and this is probably just the creation engine. This is just the engine, the way it works.
Thing. Yeah.
It is very much a Bethesda thing. And I think the pros of the creation engine outweigh the cons overall.
Definitely. Yeah.
I think this is my so far I'm only 7.5 hours into this game, so very early. I've heard a lot of reviewers say that the game doesn't really get going for a lot of people. It doesn't click immediately until like 10 hours in. Some people say 30. Some people say after the main campaign. There's a lot of varying opinions on when this game starts to become the game for a lot of people. But I think this is going to lean more towards my love of Fallout 3 more so than how I felt about Fallout 4 and Skyrim, which I'm so pleased about. That it's kind of like they did it. Like everything they talked about in that 40-minute presentation in June, it's here. You can do what they said you can do. I'm already feeling like it's way more RPG than Fallout 4 was, like where my traits actually matter to side quests. I have the dialogue options like that actually vastly affect how side missions go and even main missions too. So yeah, I think they so far they've pulled it off. They're obviously, as you said, there's limitations.
Yeah. Really, for me, they're not huge limitations. It just, it is just immersion breaking. That is the only thing, because it's a space game, and I like to get into it where it's like I've got this whole world, but I'm just like moving from box to box at the moment, and I'll get over that at some point, just because I'm coming off the back of an expectation. But yeah, I do still really like the game. I know I love it a lot to continue as well. But yeah.
Totally. I also want to give major props to the character creator. Thought that was great. I think it's way better than the Fallout 4 one. Because the Fallout 4 one was like you can like mold the face. Didn't really end up.
You can never make a character that look good.
I could never make a character that I wanted to like how I want them to actually look. In this, totally made a character that is a white bearded guy, so it's like, hey, it looks a little bit like me. I'm good with that. Like, I'm happy that I can actually make someone who resembles me even slightly. And yeah, I just love the background system. Like I mentioned that like immediately. Like I love that you can immediately start role playing in a role playing game. I know it's crazy, but like Fallout 4, I didn't feel like I could really play a role, as opposed to in this game where I feel like I can be that Han Solo type where I'm out for myself. I am backstabbing people. I am in it for the money. Like, I just love that shit. Like, I love everything this game is doing from like a role playing perspective, and I just can't wait to play more. I really can't.
Yeah, that's a great game. And yeah, definitely, I feel like that with Fallout 4 as well. It was, yeah, it didn't have those RPG elements that you would like to expect from an RPG.
Yeah, I feel like they almost in Fallout 4, it was almost like they tried to make it as accessible as possible for everybody, but it sort of made it not for anybody. Like it made it for people, but it felt like it. There were always caveats with Fallout 4
Yeah,
to me.
yeah.
Where I feel like this is like the nerdiest RPG that Bethesda's made, where it's like you can get really in the weeds, like you can go really minute with the base building, with the ship building, with just how you want to play your character, where you want to go, what you want to do. You can just totally be the explorer type and just go and scan and observe planets if you really want to. You don't have to engage with the main story at all. And I think there's so much that I'll probably get 50 hours into this game and still have missed a major part of this, a major component of the game just because of how big it is.
Yeah, when you're considering the 100 systems, it's like, yeah, it's insane. You may not even jump to every system at that point.
Yeah.
Even just like I have a mission to survey this planet, and I'm 62% through surveying it, and I'm still I've got to go to like multiple biomes on this one planet.
It's tricky. Yeah.
And it's super hard to survey planets. And like if you really want to be the surveyor and do like every planet, that is like 1,000 hours. Like
I assume
that is a lot.
it pays off. I haven't seen the amount of money you get yet.
So it does. So the missions you get from the terminal, it does say how much you get paid.
Yeah, not those ones. Like, because you can sell sets of biome,
Yes.
like, yeah, from planets. I assume they sell for a lot.
Yeah,
'Cause it
I'm not
takes a
sure.
fucking long
I'm also
time.
curious, like, if you've surveyed a planet and you pick up a mission that says survey this planet, do you automatically just get the money? I would assume so.
Yeah, or it doesn't.
Or it
appear.
doesn't. Or
Yeah.
it just, yeah, it doesn't give you that mission
Yeah.
because they're randomly generated. I was saying this yesterday, but it is a bit daunting how endless this game technically is. Because I mean, the way landing works is you've got on planets they sort of have like 3 to 4 predetermined, like these are places you want to go for missions or for cities or for points of interest that will they're worth checking out. But you can also choose anywhere on the planet to land. And the way that works is it just generates a square of terrain with random POIs to check out. But so after doing 3 randomly generated drops, it resets them, and then you do it again, and it's another square. Like, the square is always it's constantly being generated where you land on the planet. I'm really curious, because someone said one of the reviewers said in they're doing a New Game Plus run now, and they went to the same spot on their New Game Plus mode, and it was the same area. So I don't know. I'm really curious how it works. I'm not sure.
So once you save a landing zone, that's it. If you go back to that landing zone, it'll be the same. It saves it forever.
But they do reset. You can't you'll get to a point where you'll do 3 or 4 landing zones, personal ones, and then you'll try to do a 5th one, and it'll say you need to reset these.
Oh, and you have to reset all of them.
You have to reset all of them.
Oh, I guess that means that he didn't reset them and he just went back to one that he'd already done.
But on New Game Plus, I don't think they carry across.
Oh, okay. Well, weird. Okay, so all right.
I'm not sure if it was it may have been a landing. You know what it probably was? It was one that they've already made. Bethesda's made.
Yeah, it would have to be.
It wouldn't have been one that he landed on.
You would have to be so pinpoint accurate to get the same place. Yeah. And I'd say it is randomly generated. I wouldn't think it. Yeah.
So I
don't think they mapped the whole planet.
Yeah, I think the planet locations are the same across every playthrough, but I think when you land, they'll be like when you land on Mars, on a random spot on Mars, that will have different points of interest than what I see.
Yeah, yeah.
But the location of Mars in the solar system will be the same spot, obviously. Yeah, it is very daunting because it's like, wow, you technically could play this game forever if you really wanted to. There's no level cap. You never run out of landing zones on planets. because you can just keep generating them, and it's like that is scary to think about, that it just doesn't end. You can live in this game forever, and it'll probably get boring at some point.
Yeah. I'm sure
Naturally,
it'll
you'll
get better. But traversing planets is a little slow.
It is.
Yeah. When you're on the random, at least, because like when you're in a city, it's fine. There's lots to look at. But
Sure.
when you just choose a random landing zone and there's like 5 POIs across a massive
Like
2K
2,000 meters
square.
away.
Yeah.
Gotta say, I have not found an invisible barrier yet. Because just
neither.
like, and that tweet that I put in chat is totally accurate, where you just don't explore the game this way.
No, you would have to try and find it.
Exactly. You would just have to, and I believe it's if you walk in the same direction for like 10 to 15 minutes, you'll hit a barrier.
No one does that.
But it's not like Fallout or Skyrim where you've got the entire map there and you just walk in a random direction. Because they mark the points of interest on your map, so you know where to look. You're not gonna see like 2 points of interest behind you and be like, I'm just gonna go to that barren wasteland that way. Fuck it, let's go. It's just not how the exploration works in this game, and it's very different to how Bethesda typically does their exploration.
Yeah, it's very different.
Which I'm not sure if I love yet, or I just need to get acclimated, I think.
That part is very No Man's Sky, the random landing zone thing, where you just like land on a planet and go look around with your scanner and see your POIs. That is very No Man's Sky.
Have you landed on Earth yet?
Yeah.
That's one of the first things I did. I was like,
dude, that was
Earth doesn't look like how I
was like, it's looking a bit gray.
But then it was really cool because then I landed on Earth, and then my companion like explained because I asked them, I was like, what the fuck happened? What happened here? And then she was like, oh yeah, I'll just explain what happened on Earth. And it was like the history, like there's so much cool lore to this game. I do recommend signing up. Oh fuck, who are they? They're like the cops on New Atlantis. Vanguard? If you join them,
I've got a mission to join them. Yeah.
If you join them, there's like a whole museum with like the last 1,000 years of Starfield lore to find out about in a museum.
I'm going in.
I highly recommend doing that because like there's some really cool shit that they explain.
Yeah.
It was
stuff with like, I don't know if you guys have found any kind of mechanical beings yet, or not beings, mechanical machines yet. But there's some cool lore about that as well. There's really cool shit in this game. Like they've really gone deep into the lore of like the past 1,000 years of what happened in this game, before you kind of started. Yeah.
And the shipbuilding is quite good. I did go into I've gone into it a bit more. Obviously I don't have too much money, so I can't do too much. But
Sure.
as you unlock more parts, I would say that it would really open up. Like I've only got A class and a little bit of B class. Like ship components at the moment. The higher letter is better.
Yep.
But I mean, I think it can go really deep when you start getting like some higher class stuff. I think you can make some wicked ships.
So
I've started putting some B class on.
Yeah, so I did see that you can just buy blanket upgrades to like you can just choose from a selection of upgrades, and then can you move those modules in and out?
Yeah,
so like when you get that upgrade, that becomes a module that you can then put on to other ships and stuff. Is that correct?
I'm not sure about other ships. I would assume so, because you can switch between your ships quite easily. But yeah, I've only done the one ship, and I haven't been. So with upgrade modules, do you mean just like pieces?
Well, so you can go to the ship dude, and he'll be like, he can give you a selection of upgrades to buy for each of the components of the ship.
Oh, so it's like an automated thing. Okay.
Exactly.
I've only done it manually. Okay.
Yeah. So, and it shows you like, and it gives you like the stats of like, this will increase your fire rate.
Oh, that's
your
super useful. Yeah. If you just want to really quickly get into it.
So it's in the bar at the bottom. It's like you can choose to select through upgrades.
Oh yeah. No, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not sure I'm assuming that just gives you the module that then you can move in and out.
Correct. Yeah. I did see it. Yeah. So
which is very, very user friendly and makes it really easy to
you don't have to take pieces off and put them on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna deck my ship out in weapons because I feel like the default ship you get just not great for dogfighting.
No,
very slow.
I have
not
started
very
upgrading
maneuverable.
it. I got a new reactor and I got some better shields and I'm starting to get
isn't it
into
only
it.
a discovery ship? Isn't it only a discovery ship? Like it's not meant for fighting?
It's not meant for it's definitely not meant for fighting.
Exactly
you can fight, but it's just
it's all good.
What difficulty are you guys playing on?
Just normal.
So I was like, dude, I'm going fully into this. I'm going to start on very hard. Don't do that.
No.
Don't do very hard. Very hard in this game is literally just, and I might do it on like a new game plus, but very hard is just enemies have 3 fucking regenerative shields, and ships take fucking forever to whittle down their shields. Like it's just like going full on like Destiny time to kill shit.
With
Um,
Bethesda games, I usually start on normal, and then
Yeah.
as I get overpowered, I'll start to raise it up a little.
And
So,
that's
like,
what I think I'm gonna
I
do
ended
too.
Fallout 4 on the hardest difficulty, but
Yeah.
started on medium.
Yep, I think I'm gonna do the same thing because it was a struggle, bro. The fucking tutorial for dogfighting, it literally took me 3 times because I was getting my shit kicked in. I was like, you know what, maybe this is for me. I'm getting my ass handed to me, man.
That's
Like,
funny. That early on.
yeah, I was like, fuck, dude, this kid's ripping me. So yeah, I turned it down to medium, or normal. That's what I've been playing on, and it's
Yeah.
been much more fair. It's because it was
Yes.
very unfair. On very hard. The dog fighting particularly. The on the ground combat wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I think
with
once
the
you
ammo
get a
issue.
better ship, it'll be better.
Oh
And yeah,
my
the
god,
ammo issue on the
ammo,
ground.
dude. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Oh my god. Yeah. So I think the inventory management in this game is pretty bad.
It's not the
overall.
best. It's not the best.
I would say it's
So
not.
it's comparable to all their other games, yeah, which is also
But I think
pretty
it's
bad.
I think it's doubly worse
Because it's more
specifically
shit.
in Starfield.
Yeah.
Because they want you to pick up everything. Like it's in a way that other Bethesda games kind of don't, where like they want you to pick up all the ammo and they want you to pick up all the meds, and it's just like I'm going into weightlifting basically.
I'm gonna
just
break
so I
my
can
legs.
carry everything. Because it's all beneficial.
Fallout
basically,
4 was
combat.
like that for me though, because I got a lot into outpost building, and you have to
Mhm.
pick up scrap shit. So I would pick up,
That's very
like,
true.
no joke, every single thing.
And yeah, so yeah, I think, and just the amount of different ammo types, it's a bit much. I understand from a realism standpoint, it makes sense that different systems use different weapons and different ammo types. Some of the poorer systems will obviously use lower grade ammo. But like currently, I have 10 different types of ammo on my person at the moment.
Yeah, and you have to have like a weapon each bookmarked, ready to go.
And
Yeah.
each weapon
Yeah.
uses a different ammo type, and then you bookmark a weapon, and then it'll run out of ammo, and it's like, well, I got to unbookmark that and bookmark
Yeah.
this one, and it's just a little bit too much. It's
Yeah,
a
I
little
think there's
bit
too
too
many ammo
menu
types.
focused.
Yeah.
And I think I think they need to find ways to, and I'm sure they will. I'm sure there'll be quality of life updates. This game is not, they're not going to stop supporting this game now. We know there's a DLC coming out at some point. I would really like them to lessen the amount that you need to sit in menus across basically the whole game, because I think it is very, as you said, menu focused. And particularly for management of like weapons and grenades and everything like that. And it
And
is
the
a
ammo,
lot.
for example, like some electric pistols or energy pistols will use like 1.5 kilovolt ammo,
yeah.
and
But
then
then
the
there's
assault
1.8.
rifle will use
Yep.
3 kilovolt.
Yeah,
rifle ammo. It's
exactly.
like,
There's like 7 types of the voltage for these fucking electric. It's like, okay,
Just
I
use the
get it.
same
I
thing.
understand. It makes sense, but I think they should just be. It should just be. This is electric ammo. This is
Yeah.
kinetic ammo. This is like.
it would be
I think
much
that would
nicer.
probably be overall a lot easier. But they are
Yeah.
going for a relatively realistic approach, I guess. I mean, when we're talking about fucking electric ammo, like I don't know, like.
I don't know.
But instead of how much have you played so far? A couple
Not
hours.
much at all. Maybe 2 to 3 hours. Like I'm not
Okay.
that far into it.
What
I've been
what are your
mainly just-
what are your top level immediate thoughts with the first couple hours?
So I agree with Nathan. The biggest thing that was getting to me was constantly having to go into the menus. Like it was quite annoying to constantly, okay, so you're taking off, you have to go into a menu now, you have to go to the next plane, go to menu, blah blah. You know what I mean? My other complaint is the ammo, but one thing that with this game, what I really like is I feel like the gunplay is really good. I really enjoy the gunplay in this game, especially with like pistols and melee. Right now, that's what I'm specking into is pistol and melee. I'll use a pistol, as soon as I run the ammo, I'll pull out an axe, and I'll just start fucking hacking at people. That's what I do, right?
That's what I've
Actually-
been doing too. Is
Yeah.
when I run out of ammo, I'm just going full melee and just fucking
Yeah.
bashing people up.
Mm-hmm.
And I do agree with the combat. I think it's a lot better than Fallout 4's combat.
It's a
Yeah.
massive step up.
I feel like it's just it's quicker.
It is.
Like because you move faster, you can like get around enemies easier. It feels it's like somewhere between Fallout 4 and Cyberpunk combat, I think.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
somewhere
I was
in the
gonna
middle
make
of that.
comparison to Cyberpunk. Yeah.
I think obviously Cyberpunk's a little bit better, but it's serviceable, and I think it's like good, and I'm not gonna get bored of doing combat. Whereas in Fallout 4, I was just like, okay, use VATS. Like I just got sick of the real time combat that I just ended up using VATS whenever I could. And to be fair, that was Fallout 3 as well. Like
Yeah.
I think that's just kind of Fallout staple at this
Fallout
point.
3 gunplay was pretty atrocious, but
Fallout 3, yes, but it was a different time. 2008, different time, different era. You gonna say something?
The interiors in this game, holy shit,
Just
man.
the detail.
Just so much detail. Nathan last night was looking at a
Food.
piece of steak that
The
had so
fucking
much detail on
I
it.
was looking at all the
Like,
food, man.
That is some
Yeah,
fucking
man.
high res food. Everything is high res. Like
Everything
all the
is, man.
assets and as you said, Nathan, with the placement of everything just makes
It's
sense.
been really thought about everything that goes down. Like, for example, I was like looking. I came across an outpost that had been overtaken by pirates, and like it was a bit messy, obviously, but like you could see that it was still a bit clean in places they hadn't touched, and like there was a table with like empty beer bottles and like credit sticks piled up in the middle, like they'd been bedding or something.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
yeah, and like open food and like the fridges were open, and yeah, it was really cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I found like a store. Sorry, you go.
No, you.
I was gonna say I found a storage room of like old tech parts, and like they were in these buckets that had like lovingly been like placed, like all these chips and like circuit boards in these buckets that you could pick up and grab every single. I was like, holy fuck! Like this is like it reminds me of like Red Dead 2, where like everything is like you could pick up everything and like and grab it and look at it in your inventory once again in your inventory. And it was just like holy shit! Like there is so much love and care in every single detail of every single outpost or random building you find on a planet. Like it's really, really impressive.
And I think that's what gets me so much about the menu hopping is that when you get into the world, it's so immersive with how you can be in there, with how you can interact with people and whatnot. And as soon as you get to your ship, it's okay, menu, next up, menu, next up, menu. Then you're back into it. It's a very jarring. It's a very jarring jump between each other.
I mean,
you know what
it is immersion breaking, right? Like it immediately, like you'll be on a planet for like an hour maybe, just like hopping around, finding weird creatures, mining, finding pirate outposts or whatever. And then it's like once you're off the planet, it's like okay, menu, or managing your inventory because you've picked up too much iron and you're encumbered and you can't fast travel, which I really like. I understand why they do it, but I really wish you could just fast travel to your ship and just dump a bunch of stuff and then go. Like,
be thankful they don't slow your walk speed down.
Yeah,
that's how every Bethesda game was like before.
Yeah.
I'm really glad they don't do that. Although you do expel
Build
more
up CO2.
oxygen.
Yeah,
You
that's
do
fine.
build up
There's got to be
CO2.
some downside.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
I also really liked how your backgrounds and traits and whatnot work. Like for example, like one of the traits I was talking about is that like my parents are still alive and I can go visit them, which is cool.
What was it, like Family Man or something? What's the trait called? Like
it was like Family Man. I forgot what it's called. It's something like that. But it was really funny because
you could just visit your mum and dad, and there's like a quest line for them.
Thing.
Yeah, there was one really funny. Really
child
funny
thing, that's
things
right.
where you could tell them what you're doing, right? And I told you guys this yesterday, where like I went up to my dad and I told him how I just killed like a bunch of people in Outpost, and he looked at me like, "Are you okay? Like, are you good? Like, do you like?" He was actually worried about me. Like, it was very funny. It's very, very funny.
And Nathan, you got the Adoring Fan one, didn't you? That's right. How's that going?
Yeah, he's annoying as fuck, but it's a free ship, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah,
Doesn't he get you
yeah.
gifts as well? Doesn't he get
So-
you
Yeah,
gifts?
yeah.
Yeah.
And like you can set him as a companion, right, to go with you on missions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would never do that.
You're like killing a bunch of pirates. It's like, oh
Yeah.
shit, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, he
And,
says
like-
the fucking weirdest shit.
What does he say? What does he say?
A speck of dust was on your shoulder and it fucked up the most perfect view of what you were. To think
Oh
that
my
speck
God.
of dust would do that to you or some shit like that. Yeah.
Bro, he's a parasocial viewer, man.
Yeah, he is. And like it's cool how your background comes into it. Like I went combat medic, right? And like it actually gets brought up quite often to like when I went to the Vanguard, it's like, oh, it'd be useful to have you on our team and stuff like that. And at one point I was fighting with someone and then like I got really low in health. It's like, remember, you're a combat medic! Medic! And like they were trying to tell me to heal. It's like it's very funny.
Wow, are
It's,
they like specific voice lines for everything
yeah,
like
like,
that?
I was getting
Shit.
specific voice lines for like certain shit because I was a combat medic. It's really cool.
I mean, so I chose Space Scoundrel, and like the Vanguard told me, he's like, oh, well, you've got kind of a bad record, but I mean, you seem like, I mean, Constellation likes you, so maybe we could use you. Like
Yeah,
they take into account
exactly.
backgrounds, traits. Like another example
Oh, they
was
did actually. Yeah, they made a reference because I chose Explorer. Yeah, they made a
yeah,
reference to that. I just didn't even realize. Yeah.
yeah, and there's like even side missions
Hmm.
mention my background. Like I was
Hmm.
doing a side mission and the guy was like, "Are you sure you want to help?" Like, I mean, looking at your record, like it seems like you really don't help a lot of people. Like you're kind of a bad person. And that's just that was a random side mission on Mars that like you don't have to do. Like you can just totally skip over that stuff. You're obviously gonna miss a lot. Like, man, a side mission took me like 2 hours last night,
Hmm.
like yesterday. Like I was just like, oh, I'll just do this side mission, and then it's like next step, move to this planet, go to this system, talk to this person, do this little quest for this person. It like branched out into this like multi-layered mission that is totally missable that I just found because I walked past the dude and he's like, "Hey, can you help me?" Like,
Mm.
That's what
and
I
that's
like about
Bethesda.
Bethesda games. Yeah.
That's Bethesda in a nutshell. And
Mm.
it's like, I just feel like Fallout 4 missed that for me. Like, I just
Mm.
didn't
It
get
didn't
that.
actually have that. Yeah, that
Yeah.
sense like that, like Skyrim did before it. Yeah.
I just think they fucking nailed the idea that I am existing
In the
as
world.
a person in this world,
Hmm.
apart from the menu hopping. But
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
that's a limitation that I
I
understand why it's in place.
I just feel
And
like
I'll
with the
get
menu
used to it, I
hopping.
think.
I feel like with the menu hopping, it would have been good if like if you had a waypoint. I think you guys said this beforehand, where you could just face the
Just
waypoint,
fast travel
look
to
at
the
it, and
waypoint.
you just fast
Yeah.
travel to it, right?
And that
Like,
seems like something they could implement.
yeah, because I feel like that'll be and that will be so much more immersive. Is that you could actually move your ship, fly
Yeah,
towards
just
an area,
one
see
less
a waypoint.
menu. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and you just press like E, fast travel, done, and you're fast traveling to it, right? And you still got the cutscene, but you know what I mean? Like it feels good at that point, then at least.
Yeah.
Another thing I
Um,
really like are the perks, the way the perks work in the game.
yes. Oh,
Where
dude, the skill trees
you'll
look
kind of get
so
one.
good.
There's so many perks as well, and it seems like you can get all of them because
Hmm.
there's no level cap.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you get to a certain point where you stop getting skill points and you just
Yeah.
keep getting levels. I'm not sure.
That's
But
right. You can add skill points yourself. There's console commands for that.
well,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
I
not
can,
commands.
But I mean, you use console commands. You can't use
Yeah, I
achievements.
did
You
see
can't
that
get
pop up
achievements.
actually. Yeah.
I want those achievements. I want those chivos.
The
Um,
Chibos.
I want those chivos, mate.
Yeah, Xbox achievements, they mean something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need that. I got
Yeah, the
56,000 gamer
score.
score. I want to get that
Gamer
100K one
score.
day. I'll probably get there when I'm 40. I'll be 100,000 gamer score. Um, but yeah, like the way the perks work, where you'll use a skill point to get the first level, and then you'll do a challenge, and then that unlocks the second level, and you use a skill point. Like, really love that you have to, like, you can't just grab the skill as like a passive thing. Like, you really need to actually use that skill
Yeah.
to then continue using it. Like, I really like that. Like, I feel like you're actually really properly specking into certain playstyles,
Mhm.
in a way that I didn't feel that in previous Bethesda games. I didn't
Definitely
feel
not.
like I know you can level up like sneak in Skyrim and stuff like that, but
But they were
the way that
very yeah, they were quite passive unlocks
Mhm.
in the skill tree on each level, on each like type, like everything. It was it's basically just you can do this thing better. You
Sure.
do more damage with this thing. It wasn't like well, it isn't like it is in Starfield.
and it feels like a lot of the perks really do change how you can
Oh,
play
yeah.
the game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like even just getting the booster pack
Mm.
and being able to boost around in combat just gives you a new advantage to getting the height advantage on enemies and yeah, even just like using like the pistol what is it called, the pistol efficiency or whatever,
Oh yeah.
and like being able to do extra damage with pistols and building into like that Han Solo fucking like scoundrel with a pistol. Like
Mhm.
I'm really enjoying my time with the game, and I can't wait to finish up this podcast so we can play more. Like I'm
Yeah.
just like I'm like ants. I want to play more. I need to
Mhm.
get more into this. So
Also, I
Yeah.
know I said this months ago when we first saw the big reveal of like all the details and shit that they have in this game, but like
Mhm.
the details of gravity and atmosphere and all that
Yes.
shit is insane. Like I
Yep.
landed and I kind of forgot about it because it blends in unless you're really paying attention to it.
sure.
Yeah, I landed on a planet with no atmosphere, and the shadows were really harsh, and that makes perfect sense because there's no
Mhm.
atmosphere to
They
refract
do
light and
refract
spread
it,
it out.
yeah.
Like on
Yep.
Earth, we get like nice soft shadows, but
Diffused.
on the
Yeah.
moon, there's no
Yep.
atmosphere. You get really
really
hard
solid.
shadows. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and like
It's
stuff like
there
that.
is
It's just you don't see it unless you pay attention, and it's really cool.
yeah there is such a love and care in the details. That I just think they really they gravitated to what they really wanted to do with this game, where
Yeah.
it's not like it's not like when CD Projekt Red was talking about Cyberpunk, where they were like, you can do anything. And I feel like Starfield, like you can't do everything, but you can do a hell of a lot.
Mhm.
And you can do way more than a typical RPG. Like you can do way more in this game than you can in Cyberpunk, I
Yeah,
think.
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
This game doesn't feel like you're just seeing set dressing. It feels like you're seeing actual, like I want to say like the set design of this game is just like pitch perfect. Like it feels like everything has a purpose.
Mhm.
Whereas
Mhm.
in a lot of other RPGs, they miss the mark sometimes. Whereas in this game, it just
it's
doesn't.
just a set. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Hmm.
exactly. I mean, even Baldur's Gate 3 to an extent has that.
Yes.
Where like there's stuff that you pick up that's like doesn't really have a purpose, but
Yeah.
everything feels like there's like a reason for everything being where it is in this game, even if some of it is generated randomly, which is equally as impressive because I don't feel like I haven't really seen I haven't felt like I've seen a randomly generated thing. Like it doesn't feel generate. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
feel like this is a system making this. It feels like this was a developer that decided to put this here.
Mhm.
So yeah, the random generation is like really, really impressive overall, I think.
Yeah, it's really
Because
good.
I think a good majority of it is like when you walk into like if you put like a random landing zone down and you have like a random outpost, they've like there's obviously rules behind what should be in the outpost, but the actual room layout and everything seems like they're generating that.
Yeah, I'm not, I guess we'll see the more we do, but yeah, I'm not sure that there's just like I'm not sure if they've got like 100 different bases that are just ready to plonk down. Like,
I am
yeah.
waiting for this looks familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen this layout before. I've seen this placement of enemies. I'm waiting for that.
That would be
And so
cool if
far-
it is completely like generated, like the room layout is just like Legoed around. But
I'll be interested
yeah.
to see. Like, I'm assuming that will happen, where I'll get to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm like 100 hours into this game. I mean, it's probably gonna happen before then, but I've now seen something that I recognize from a previous time on a planet, and
But realistically, that kind of makes sense because if if there's the company that's placing these outposts down, they're going to be pretty
Yeah, true.
much the same a lot of the time.
and when you're fighting, like the Crimson Fleet or a certain faction, like they're gonna use the same weapons or have the
Yeah.
same armor. Like it makes sense for there to be some replication there. Yeah, man.
It's very good.
I can't believe they really did pull this off. Like
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really refreshing to get extremely hyped for a game, and and obviously with some of the exploration that didn't meet my expectations yet. But I guess the way it works is it's not going to change. But it feels nice to have a lot of my expectations met with a game that I've been very excited for a very long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
No.
feeling.
Very
game.
good. Very good.
Very good game. Good job, Bethesda. Todd, you've done it again.
Do not listen to the Twitters.
Oh
Don't
yeah,
listen,
they're
don't
lying.
listen.
I've seen
And
some
also, the
shit.
start menu looks fucking awesome.
I've seen some
Music and
shit.
like
Wow, the music's great. It's
music
like
is so good.
it's
Sound
like
design's so
Fallout
good.
music on steroids. It's amazing.
All right.
When we could talk about this for hours
Yeah.
and hours.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's like,
Especially
and I'm
next
sure
week when
will-
we got more time.
I'm
on
sure.
it.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm probably gonna be like 50 hours in the game next week.
Top 100.
Let's do some top 100.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's.
I'll go first this time.
Mhm.
Last time we really decided to sat down for like 10 seconds waiting for what I was to say, so
Just
I'm immediately
silence.
gonna go
Yeah,
into
yeah,
it.
Okay, what are you going?
I decided I'm biting the bullet. I'm gonna be one that does it. I'm adding Call of Duty Black
no.
Ops 1 to the list.
Yeah, that's all
Which
right.
one?
then.
Yeah, Black Ops 1. Black Ops 1.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Which one?
I
You
mean,
said
for
Infinite Warfare
like
for
the
a
last
second.
couple of
I was
days,
like, oh no.
for the last couple of weeks, I was thinking about it. Not the last couple of days, I've been thinking about it, and yeah, no, I think Black Ops is the best one. I think there should be one COD on the list. I think there should be one. I think Black Ops is the one to put on the list. So yeah,
I would agree.
it's not going to go that high. I'm probably. Let me take a look at what we got on listings here. I've not been able to actually. I didn't take a look at it beforehand. I did not think ahead on that one. Let's put it. It's. Sorry, I'm just opening up now. Let me see. Here we go. I want to put it at number 9. No, I'm kidding. I think. Let's do 78. Let's do 78. I'm not gonna put it that high at all. I'm putting it pretty low.
Google fucking hates you, bro. Oh my god.
There you go.
Fucking hell.
Oh my god.
Bro, Google Sheets, you need to fix your shit. All right.
There it is.
You got,
Did
you
I
got
actually
it.
do it? I just randomly fucking dropped
Yeah,
it.
no,
so
you
I
got
can
it. You
zoom
got
out.
it. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, I think that should be on the list. So that's my check. That's my check.
KSP better game confirmed.
Yeah.
KSP better than Black Ops.
Jamie.
Yeah, you go for it, Jamie.
What do I want to go today? I am gonna pick Control.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Control
yeah,
is on the
I
list.
forgot about that game.
Control.
We
fucking
talked about it
rules.
last week.
I think
Yo,
Control is
put
Remedy's
that
best
up there.
game. Control is gonna go at number 39.
Okay, I think that's good.
Control
agree with
fucking
that.
rules, man. That's
Yeah,
such a great
controls are
game.
the bomb.
I am so fucking ready for Alan
Still
Wake
need to
2,
finish
man.
it.
Actually,
Still
I'm
need-
see the thing is I'm not ready for Alan Wake 2. There's two. I've got to play Starfield, but
Yeah.
I'm excited for when Alan Wake 2 is here. After Control, yeah.
All right. I'm gonna add a bit of a different genre because I feel like we need a bit of a
Uh-oh.
mixy matchy. I'm gonna add City Skylines.
Oh yeah.
It's a
yeah.
good city building game.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it
Maybe-
crazy that EA just like ditched SimCity?
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Like it was like they did the 2013 SimCity, it fucking blew up in their face, and they never did another one since. That's crazy.
I'm not gonna put it
City
that
Skylines
high
is great.
because like I really like it as I think it's the best city builder out there, but as a game, I don't think it's like the best game out there. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, that
I'm gonna put it here below Stardew Valley. I think.
Oh yeah.
It's fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
City Skylines is a good game.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
And
Good
maybe I
game.
want to place it with City Skylines 2 after I play that. I don't know. We'll see how good that is.
Skylines 2
Yeah.
is also October.
Mm-hmm.
3 days before Alan Wake 2.
Yep.
And 4 days after Spider-Man 2.
Oh my fucking god. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
gonna...
it's
Yeah.
yeah, City Skylines. Well, it's on Game Pass though, so that's
That's
fine.
true.
That's good.
That's true.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well,
Time
I
to wrap
think it's
this shit up.
time. Yeah, I think it's time for you guys for us to go back and play some Starfield. So
Go
thank
into
you all very
space.
much for joining in for this week's episode of the 74th Hour Podcast. We'll be back next week for some more Starfield talk and maybe some more news. The Sony press conference is going to be happening. So
Or maybe.
Maybe.
Well, it
We'll
might
wait
be
and see.
soon. It might be soon. You know, there
Yeah.
might be some. I mean, so the thing is, Insomniac tweeted just an egg cooking. People are like, oh, they're cooking something.
Oh,
Let 'em
they're
cook.
cooking. Let him cook.
Let 'em cook. Let 'em cook.
Very good. Alrighty. But yeah, we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.